So hello, everybody, and thank you for attending today's webinar masterclass. I'm really excited. So a lot of you know me from working at Designs for Health. So for those of you that didn't, I had been there for 10 years. I was launching all of what we called their health entrepreneurs, or kind of their celebrity private label accounts, and managed about $7 million in wholesale business a year. So when I left there in August, I actually had a conference call scheduled with Joel Kahn. A lot of you guys know Joel. And it was on my calendar, and this is weeks after I left, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a conference call with Joel Kahn, crap. So I texted him, I said, Joel, you know, I'm not at DFH anymore. I don't know if you still want to talk with me. You know, I'm happy to consult and help you or whatever. And he said, well, absolutely, that's even better. Now I can talk to you about all supplement companies. So we jumped on the phone and he told me his overall strategy, and I've only been selling branded products, but I have this big online following, and his engagement is amazing. And I said, well, you know, Joel, what I would do if I was you is I would private label, you know, like that foundational 3 to 5 products. And I would only talk about those online, maybe up to 6, only talk about those online, so that your online business has to go to your shopping cart. And then behind the firewall and he told me that there was a firewall in this cart that I had never heard about, and that it would do both and do everything. And I was like, what? I've never even heard about this. So I said, well, I would private label, market those out to the public so that you make sure they're having to come to your cart to get it. And then once they get to your cart, I would open it up and then have all the other products so that you can have other bundles and sell everything. But at least they're always coming to your cart to get those couple private label products. They're not going to find them anywhere else. And he's like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And I'm going to call my store guy, my tech guy, and I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden, then I have a phone call from the gentleman here, John, and he's like, I just had a phone call with one of our clients, Joel, and he's all excited. He has this whole strategy. Like, what do you do? And well, how can we work together? And so that's kind of how it came to be. And you know, as I sat and talked to him, he said, you know, well, yeah, we can put a firewall in, and yeah, they can sell DFH and Biotics, and well, Biotics is coming, and Thorne and Air Systems, and had this amazing deal with Vital Choice Seafood. And I'm like, wow, so that's kind of like an all-in-one cart. And so that's how this all came to be. And please, as questions come up, pop them into the chat. I'll watch. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to John. So John has been in e-commerce for years. He's the founder and CEO of Get Healthy Stores and Get Healthy Network. He's an expert in online commerce and digital marketing, having run a marketing analytics company that worked closely with Amazon and other large retailers to improve customer experience and lifetime value. John has been the CEO of multiple high-growth technology companies and was previously a partner at Accenture, doing business and technology consulting for banks and large corporations. So, John, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Nicole. And thank you, everybody, for your time and attention today. And thank you, Nicole, for that fascinating story that evolved over, gosh, it's been 2 or 3 years since Dr. Shippey originally introduced us. Before I get into my content today, just a little bit more background on me. Nicole mentioned some of my experience with Amazon and e-commerce, and that definitely came into play in what you're going to see today. But in the health arena, I actually came at this from a patient perspective. I was an early adopter, did a preventative physical in 2008. And through that process, what we know is functional medicine today, all kinds of tests. I found out I had thyroid cancer, I had an autoimmune condition, my stomach was torn up, and I embarked on now a 10+ year journey myself at improving my health. And happy to say I'm probably healthier as an adult than I've ever been today. But along the way, my experience in working with various practitioners and getting healthy products was challenging, comical at times. You know, them asking me to buy some products from a distributor, some they had in clinic. Some manufacturers aren't on the distributors or on one distributor or the other. So I had to do that not only once, but multiple times. And also they wanted me to eat healthy and ask me about my home environment and, you know, whole host of things and trying to get behavior change in myself. And given my e-commerce experience, I knew there was a better solution that could be built. And so that really is the genesis of what you're going to see today. Before I jump into the solution specifically, though, I want to lay some groundwork with you that I think will be meaningful to your business. Let me get my presentation. So I've titled this, The Power of Relationship in Functional Medicine. And what I want to impart upon you today is taking some of the principles that I learned in working with Amazon and other online retailers and equate that into functional medicine and the relationships that you have with your patients, with those that you influence through social media, through books, etc., and the opportunity that you have to create a better experience and improve on lifetime value. So let's dive in. First off, to talk about e-commerce, anytime we all think about e-commerce, almost everybody is immediately going to think of Amazon. Amazon has really won the direct-to-consumer space. We all go there to buy tons of things. We go there to buy one thing. We end up buying 3 or 4 or 5. Today, we have to buy everything from there if we can get it delivered, given the times we're in. But one of my learnings in our dealings with Amazon was, in the end, they really optimize on one primary variable, and that's lifetime value. Their goal is to acquire all the customers they can, but then to be able to service them, not just with books that they started with, but many categories, have a good customer experience. We trust them. We're going to get our products in a timely manner, etc. So they've won that direct-to-consumer space, but I, as a consumer, as a health consumer, I'm not going to go out to Amazon and look at a review that somebody has done about a supplement and take their advice of how they liked it or didn't like it, because Mary's going to like it and Joe's not going to like it. So there's a huge opportunity for you all as influencers to play that role and focus on lifetime value and add value to those that you can influence. And today I'm going to go through the seven keys to driving lifetime value in functional medicine, and then connect that to the CART solution that we're here to talk about. So quickly, let's talk about what lifetime value is. What's the equation? The 3 components. First is that average order value, or that single sale average. You only get so many times up to bat, and so how much is that individual sale worth? If you're using a distributor and you send them an email to buy that one product or protocol, they might buy that from FullScript. Hopefully they will, and you'll get exactly those products that you have suggested for them. Maybe it's a $30 bottle of vitamin D. That's your average order value. With that bat, you sold $30. We're going to show you ways that this is such an important variable, and it's driven by a lot broader of things than just that one product that you're suggesting to them. Next is how often do they buy, let's say in a given year, and then how many years do you have them as a customer that are buying from you. And my premise is healthcare practitioners are poised, and given the relationships they have with those they influence around in the health arena, they can maximize these 3 variables to drive significantly more lifetime value than they are today. Let's go through how you do that. So the 7 key factors of lifetime value. First is having a trusted relationship. And this one was, me as a patient, I trusted the folks that I was paying to do these tests, interpret these tests, and give me direction. So I think you as practitioners have this in spades. This really is the entry fee into the game, and you all have it, and you build it over time, thus the opportunity to be able to leverage that. Next is what you're offering. If all you're offering is a single supplement based upon them being in the clinic and a diagnostic that you've done, you're going to sell that single product. Or if all you're selling is supplements, they might buy a couple other supplements for you. So you have the opportunity to broaden that offering. Obviously, we don't want to inventory a bunch of this, so there's a lot of nuances around it, but what you can offer out in that trusted advisor relationship that you have with your patients and those that you influence maybe in social media is a key component to driving that average order value to help you maximize lifetime value. Next is competitive pricing on products. Relative price is the #1 determinant variable of conversion rate in online commerce. So you got to be price competitive. We make sure that we're price competitive in what you offer. We also give you the ability to discount using discount codes, but first and foremost, the offered price needs to be the same. This is super important to your top brands as well. They don't want somebody undercutting them, somebody to be able to go out to Amazon and find a cheaper price. So we make sure that you have a competitive price on the products that you're offering on your store. The #2 determinant of conversion rate in online commerce is the shopping experience. And this is the one that I, as a patient, really felt like the industry was falling down on and caused me to be like, well, I'm going to go elsewhere. I know I can get these at my local compounding pharmacy, which is down the street, or to Amazon. And so how can you have that best customer experience, that shopping experience, because it does drive conversion rate, which obviously creates a number of transactions that you get closed on your store. Next is digital or social media to commerce integration. You know, what we're seeing is practitioners are creating a practice. Many of them are learning how to then become effective at influencing others through social media, maybe Instagram, through blogs, whatever it may be. So you're building a nice following that you don't necessarily see in the clinic, but how do you integrate them and make the ease of that shopping experience the best it can be so that you can monetize those that you don't have in the clinic paying a healthy fee to see you. So super important, and I think one of the things that we've heard, you know, Nicole was asking as folks were coming on, challenges that we hear from clients that are coming to us. We hear all the time, gosh, I have 10,000 followers, but anytime I talk about something on my blog, I don't have anywhere to send them, or I got to send them to an affiliate, and that doesn't convert very well, or I got to send them to the front door of the distributor, and then they got to create an account or log on to an account and find the product. All those things are steps where you lose people. So it's one of the things in our platform we wanted to make sure that we made seamless and very easy so that we could have that positive customer experience. Next is content marketing. You're talking about adding value in the lifetime value equation, value that you deliver and value that you derive from that relationship. Well, as many practitioners are finding, we all are thirsting for information on things that are topical. Obviously, the virus right now is super topical, but I follow various people in the health arena and love to learn new nuggets of information as they write an article on something like the benefits of an infrared sauna in detoxifying the body from the inside out. So how do you monetize that? We're big fans of engaging your patients with content when they're not in the clinic, so they build that better relationship with you and interact with you, engage more with you, and give you more times up to bat for you to actually sell products to them and to derive some value from that value that you're delivering through content marketing. And last is customer service. You know, this is a great one because in my experience, when I had to go to 3 or 4 different places to buy products, inevitably I would have a damaged bottle or something I had to return for whatever reason. And I had to remember where I bought it. I'm like, did I buy this when I was in the clinic, or did I buy this from Fullscript, or wait, I bought that from Thorne. Thorne is non-Fullscript. So, you know, that's a part of the customer experience. And the last thing you want is for your clinic to end up being a customer service hub where people are calling all the time to your front desk or your mid-levels, whomever's answering the phone and saying, hey, this bottle's damaged. What do I do? Where do I go? So that is a key component in developing that trusted relationship and leveraging it over time. So those are the 7 keys to optimizing lifetime value in functional medicine. How did we do that? And first off, let me just tell you about our platform. GetHealthy.store is a revenue growth platform that provides integrated e-commerce and marketing. So it's not just a Shopify store. We have marketing services, et cetera, promotions we'll talk about. And it's really for next generation healthcare practitioners. And what I mean by next generation is I've heard from many practitioners, they said, you know, when I first got started in functional medicine, getting somebody a script, a single product, was very easy through a full script. And tactically or transactionally, that was awesome. But as I evolved, I figured out that I had a broader audience to influence. I had a voice I wanted to get out through my blog or through other social channels. And so now sending somebody to the front door of FullScript, that's not really good enough for me. I have private labels now. How do I get my private labels on there with my branded products? How do I get my affiliate products sold so they convert better? So that's really where we're positioned, is we are giving you a true e-commerce solution that you're going to see, that you own, et cetera, so that you can provide that best customer experience and maximize the lifetime value that you have with your patients and followers. So how do we do that? First off, we give you a true e-commerce store. You own it. You own the customer data. It's customized for you. You see here logo, colors, product offering, protocols. We do have behind the firewall the ability for you to create protocols that you define, you name, you tell us what products go in them, but you own the store. We manage it for you. We manage everything from the technology to payment processing, returns, customer service, your sales tax remittances on the back end. So it's a turnkey solution that we're providing you, but we give you access to run the store on the back end. You can close an order out in the clinic. You can put somebody on auto ship in the clinic. You have a dashboard that shows you all the activity, shows you the financials of it. So indeed, it's a practice-owned store, and I'm going to show you a quick demo of a store at the end. And so you can put a tab on your marketing site that says store. When somebody clicks that, it invokes your store with your logo, your colors, et cetera. Much different than sending them to one or multiple third parties, where you're giving your customer to those third parties and they then own that customer relationship and that shopping experience that's so important. Next, we give you a multi-category store. So if you think about the integrative health spectrum, I want to have healthy air, healthy water, a good home environment, a good work environment, good nutrition, supplementation when necessary, all so that I hopefully stay out of that sick care system. So that's when I approached thinking about what types of products I wanted on here, I wanted to have products across that spectrum. So we give you access to, in addition to supplements, equipment, personal care like skin care, oral care, food and nutrition like Prolon's fasting mimicking diet or Vital Choice seafood. We're actually bringing on a frozen smoothie cube company that have all your healthy ingredients embedded into a smoothie cube. They send them frozen, and all somebody has to do is plop them into a blender, put 8 ounces of water or milk, stir them up, and they have a anti-inflammation smoothie, as an example. So we serve that product management function where we continually bring on products that we know are healthy or that we vet through our doctor network, or if you have some products that you would like us to bring on, we look at those continually and we'll roll out new products to you every month. Last category is home products. So you get the ability to have products across all these categories curated into your store. We have access today to about 7,000 SKUs, and we expect that to continue to grow over time. So here you have, in your multi-category store, you have branded products across multiple categories, thus helping that average order value. We all know that mom's the buyer. She goes out to buy one thing. If you have a category for men's health and children's health, good chance she's going to buy products in those other categories from their trusted advisor, and your average order value is going to go up. That's our goal in helping you achieve better lifetime value. Next is your private label products. So you can work with your private label provider, like a DFH, like a Biotics, whomever, and purchase those as you normally would. You can carry those in clinic like most have to do today. We do have a program as well where we will warehouse and ship those for you. So we can be your turnkey solution provider for you to have the technology and all that I mentioned before that's a part of the store, payment processing, etc. You can have branded products, and you can have your private label products all on a single store. So we're making progress at making that customer experience better. Next, let's talk a little bit about affiliate products, because this is really a big negative for practitioners. And I want to go through an example and tell you what's happening behind the scenes. I get a complaint. Here's another complaint that we hear. Practitioners that promote affiliate products, they're like, yeah, but I don't get paid very much. And it seems like I send so much more traffic, and people tell me that they bought that infrared sauna, but I don't get paid. Here's why. The affiliate product companies, their goal is not to pay you a bunch of money. Their goal is to get your customer. Here's the typical flow. You do a blog post, in this instance, on a water filter. You put a link in it to your website, to your affiliate page. In this instance, it's a single affiliate page for a water filter. Oftentimes, you'll have multiple products on a single page, so somebody has to go and find that individual product and click on the link. When they click on the link, it sends them over to the product company's website for them to be able to hopefully purchase. When you do that, there's a cookie window that starts, a cookie clock. So you have, typically it's 30 days, might be as low as 7 days or 2 days. It depends on how the product company is setting it up. But you have to sell a product in that window of time for you to get compensated. So if somebody buys on day 31 or day 32, you won't make any money. Even worse though, you've sent, when this link of your customer over to their site, you've sent your customer there. You've sent their IP address, and now any good product company is going to take that new customer that they've just acquired and put it into their marketing capabilities. So we all know, we've all had this experience where we go onto a website one day and the next day, all of a sudden that company has put an ad into our Facebook feeds. That is called retargeting. Any good product company is going to do retargeting. So tomorrow, when in this instance, my doctor actually has educated me on this water filter, they've taken me in the purchase funnel down to interest, awareness, interest, purchase intent potentially, because I'm now over here at this site. So I'm very far down the path, but I don't buy that first time, and the next day I get this post in Facebook. I click on that ad from the product company, and I buy that water filter, even though it's 1 day later, so your cookie's still in place. Unfortunately, because I clicked that ad, the affiliate network works on what's called last click attribution. That means they're going to attribute that sale to their ad on Facebook. That means you will not get paid for that transaction. And they now have your customer, and that customer will be in their marketing funnel, and you won't get paid on future purchases as well. Not fair. That's just the way the affiliate processing works. So our goal in creating this multi-category store was we wanted to go create relationships, direct relationships with these, quote, affiliate companies that you all know and that you would want to recommend out to your patients, and to create a direct relationship with them, like a Vital Choice. And then we create that wholesale relationship. We build an integration in with them, and then allow all of you to be able to take advantage of that technology that we've built with them. Also, the amount of money that you'll make with us is going to end up being a lot more. As an example, with Vital Choice, I think the affiliate fee is like 6 or 6.5%, maybe 7, somewhere around there. And through our formula of how we pay you, and specifically with their products, you make about 13%. So it's double. So we try to bring those affiliate products into a direct relationship for you to be able to suggest out and have on your site, all through our technology. Thinking about your audience, I've mentioned this a couple times, but we find that practitioners have patients that are oftentimes in functional medicine measured in the low hundreds. Might have 200 or 300 patients that come to you on some periodic basis. So that's a great base, but what we find in terms of social is we have practitioners that have thousands or tens of thousands, or in the cases of some of our large doctors, hundreds of thousands of social followers. So you want to create a seamless experience with the social following, those that you're influencing through various social channels, just like you would with your patients. So our technology is built for that. Nicole mentioned the firewall. We have a dual rendering store. What that means are products that can be sold direct to consumer, which is basically everything but some doctor grade supplements, branded products, doctor grade branded products. Those can be rendered direct to consumer. So they're in front of any patient login, but you still want to have a good customer experience. So you want to have it all integrated together. So we have the ability for you to have a firewall in place where patients have to create an account and have to be a part of your practice, in effect, by having that account. And when doing that, that allows them to buy those branded products that are behind the firewall. Let's use Designs for Health as an example. DFH is one of the companies that doesn't want to sell direct to consumer, or where they do, like on Amazon, prices are jacked up. But for you as a practitioner, they will allow us to display the image of the product so that anybody can see it, but they don't want to show price, and they don't want to close an account, a transaction out without them being a patient of yours and signing on and having an account. So we have the ability to have that hybrid model where they'll see the DFH bottle, but in order to buy it, they actually have to log in to your store that we provided you. We do have some manufacturers that actually require them to completely be behind the firewall. So they won't see those in the direct consumer rendering of all your products, but they will see when they sign on. So with social, you now can directly drop them into a product detail page as an example. Let's use that water filter example. You can actually drop them into the description of the water filter. All they have to do is select that product and check out. Much better experience than having to go to an affiliate page, click a link, go to the product page, find the product, etc. Moreover, we actually have some advanced functionality. This is part of our integrated marketing capability with e-commerce. Some of you may be familiar with Instagram's swipe up to buy functionality. We have that same functionality where, in this example of the water filter, you can embed a buy now button piece of technology that we give you with that product. And when they click that buy now button, it actually drops them into the cart, into the checkout. All they have to do is hit this proceed to checkout, put their credit card in, and check out. Your conversion rate will be astronomically higher in this example where you have taught them about the water filter and drop them ready to check out, as opposed to the process I described with the affiliate earlier. And lastly, our marketing services. As a part of our service, we want to help you sell. We want to be aligned with you. We come out with content every month that you can opt in to having sent to your patients. We'll send it to your patients under your brand if you want to, or you can send it yourself. And then we also do promotions. Some of our brands will sponsor promotions. We'll come to you asking you if you want to do those. We usually do 2 promotions a month. Some might be seasonal, like back to school or Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You can tell us you want to run a promo. We'll help you run that. We'll give you discount codes to where you can discount for individual patients. You can do product promotions, etc. So the marketing services is part of our whole solution. Lastly, I'm going to show you just real quick an example. This is a functional medicine practice down in Houston. This is their marketing site. And you see here they have embedded a store button on their marketing site. And you click that store button, look up here in the URL, Texas Center for Lifestyle Medicine is the practice. .gethealthy.store is their URL. They own this. And you see this My Practice button in the upper right. If that's clicked, that actually goes back to your marketing site. The 800 number, the email that's under Get Support, and this chat capability, those are 3 customer service channels that all go to our customer service team. We don't answer medical questions, but anything around logistics, returns, questions about a damaged product, that goes to us, not your practice. We answer those, and if they need to get a medical question, we refer them back to your practice. Then you see here your logo, your colors. These colors were selected by the practice. They wanted the blue to offset the green. The shopping by category is pretty straightforward. It's just products are mapped into categories. Nothing real interesting there. This is what's super interesting is these are customized by you for your site. You name these protocols and you tell us what products to put in them. It allows you to connect the discussion from the consultation to an individual bundle of products. If you want to put a video with the bundle, we can merchandise a video with it, you explaining why you put certain products together. But just needless to say, this is super custom and allowing you to do what you want here and control this bundle bar. If you don't want it, you don't have to use it. Last thing I'll show you is just this multi-category store. This is one of our high volume stores. You can see 374 products. You're going to see a lot of different brands on here, different categories, air filters. Let me scroll down. Here's the DFH example. I'm already behind the firewall, so you are seeing the price. But let me go through some of just to give you an idea of the types of products. Going here on the left, Vital Choice obviously is healthy seafood. Supplements, Stoka is a snack bar, Sauna Space is infrared saunas, Purity Coffee is a healthy coffee, super interesting, doesn't cause acid reflux. Prolon that most people know, Better Sleep with a sleep pad. Human Half Cell is they have 2 different patches. One of them is for a woman's menstrual cramps. It's topical, has some colloidal silver and elemental magnesium, along with some proton technology to penetrate the skin and help dissipate pains from menstrual cramps. Works tremendously. Heart mask products, many of you are familiar with. And I always like to say, mention Branch Basics as well. It's a home cleaning products that don't cause endocrine disruption. So just some examples. All the high-end functionality with subscriptions that you would expect, et cetera, is here. Discount codes so you can discount at checkout. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you here. Let's open it up for questions, Nicole.
Unmute myself. So I've been answering some along the way. So I'll go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question. I see Veronique, we'll go ahead and start with you. Did you get all your questions answered? Did you have any questions?
No, I think you answered everything. I guess the next thing is price. Looks awesome, but what's the cost?
There is no cost for the site or anything. We do a profit sharing with you, and it differs based upon, you're going to make, if you're using a distributor, you're going to make about the same as you make with the distributor. If you discount it all, you'll actually make more. We know that in terms of lifetime value, you will make more long-term using our solution because of the better customer experience, broad set of products, et cetera. But we don't charge you a fee for it.
Okay, great, thank you.
So ranges, and what is, so just because people would be able to use Fullscript or Wellovate as a comparison, can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, you're going to make on supplements, and it depends because margins differ on supplements. We pay as a % of gross profit. And the reason that we do that is because things like food have very low margins, things like supplements have very high margins. Equipment's kind of in the middle. So at point of purchase with a single calculation, we calculate the profit on any given product, and you're going to make 60% of that. What that equates to be on supplements is right around that mid-30s. Now, because we pay as a percent of gross profit, if you discount, let's say you discount 10%, we're going to eat 4% of that discount. You're going to eat 6% of that discount because you're getting 60% of the profit, and you've reduced the revenue by 10% by giving a 10% discount. So in that instance, you're going to make more because in Fullscript, you're going to eat all 10%. Instead of making 35, you're going to make 25. In ours, you're going to make somewhere around 30. So you'll make more if you discount it all on that individual transaction. Then our premise is you're going to have more compliance, longer term purchases, broader set of purchases. Mom's going to buy for husband and child because of the ease of use.
So I have another question. I hope that answered that. If not, put it in the box here. But is there any ways that you can map the store URL direct to their domain to take off the Get Healthy on the ends?
Yes, we can do that. I call that a vanity URL.
Okay.
So if there is a vanity URL you want us to map it to technically, we can do that.
Okay. The next one is what if you already have someone doing your marketing? So I'll speak to that. I'll speak to that too. So I'm actually coming out with an email marketing solution that does a lot of pre-written campaigns. So what's great about his is this is going to be more supplement specific. So John, speak to that, because this wouldn't be a full marketing solution.
Yeah, no, you can still do your marketing and directly link them in. Our marketing services are complementary to our store. Things that you do with your marketing team, as an example, Tom O'Brien's team does all kinds of content, etc., and yet they link them into the store. So you can do your own marketing. You can have a third party doing your marketing and directly link them into your store.
But even with social media content, it's just a little bit more, it's product specific. So it wouldn't be, I mean, you would still, like, I would still have a social media marketing company if I was big enough, or have a different social media. I mean, it's not going to be comprehensive. And I actually have something else coming out that will do that. But this is more campaign product specific social media. Or John, and maybe.
Yeah, and one other way to describe it is we help you with monetizing your current customer base, not customer acquisition. And oftentimes when you're trying to create a bigger practice and you're creating a brand, or you're having a voice out in social media, that is to help attract new customers. That's customer acquisition. We don't do customer acquisition. We do lifetime value, helping you maximize the value you can deliver and derive from your current customers.
Can you create patient-specific protocols? Like, can you send them a protocol after like, you know, and I've had a doctor do that. I've sat down with them, they put together a protocol and send it to me.
Yes, you can. We have that functionality. You're seeing the customer side here. We have an admin control panel that we teach you how to use, and you can create that protocol and send it to the patient. You can put instructions for the order as a whole or individual line item if you want to change the dosage as an example, or maybe the dosage is 4 of these for a month, 2 thereafter. All that is in the back end. Just very similar to what you do at Fullscript today.
Do we set the discounts we offer patients across the board, or do we have to individually set the discount each time?
We give you discount codes that can live in perpetuity. So you can give them out to individual patients, or we give you discount codes that only live for some duration or a campaign that you might be doing. So we develop them for you. We'll give you some standard that you can give out to anybody, or if you want something specific. As an example, you want to give your mother a better discount than you give one of your patients. We'll give you a discount code specific for your mother, or you can give her one of the more aggressive discount codes that we give you to use with anybody.
Perfect. Any other questions? And maybe I'll look through some of these that I answered myself to see if needed to go into any more detail on anything. I think we might be good. Oh, there's another one. How fast is shipping?
Well, it differs because we are not a distributor. In other words, I'm not housing all these products. Nicole, back to your question of things that you have a problem with. We hear all the time that Fullscript is out of stock. So let's use DFH for an example. When one of your patients orders that DFH product, that actually gets sent to DFH. If we get it in before their cutoff that day, it's going to get out the same day. And then depending on how far their geography is away, DFH is great because they have multiple different warehouses across the country. So it's going to get there very fast. But it depends on that manufacturer because they're drop shipping it for you. Now, for your private labels, we actually have 3 private label locations, one east, one west, one central. We can get to 90% of the population within 2 days if you want to carry inventory in 3 locations. More typically, you would carry that private label inventory in one of our locations that's regionally close to where you are, and we would get those products to somebody within 2 business days.
And what I used to tell people is, so when you're private labeling and you're doing this, it kind of just depends if you're an online business or if you're a brick and mortar. So if you're a brick and mortar and you're only shipping to people, say I'm in Dallas, well, then it would be housed in the Houston location. And then as you grow, and especially if you're online, then you can look, let's just say you go through 1,000 bottles of something a month, which we would all love to be there. And most of it goes to New York and California. Well, then we could redistribute, or John, not me, will redistribute that product the next time that order comes in. It would be shipped to the locations that are more close. And I also want to go back and talk about the other one about it shipping direct from the different manufacturers. So I worked for DFH and now I'm consulting for Biotics, and I'll say that, you know, having worked for some of these supplement providers, the thing is that, let's just say they're getting low on a certain item. Let's just say it's everyone's going crazy over immune products, and there's only 200 bottles of vitamin D sitting on the shelf, and Fullscript puts in an order for 100 of those. Well, if they know that they'll go through that 200 and the next month, they'll just not ship them to Fullscript so that they can make sure that they can fulfill their orders that come in direct. So it's actually better this way that the manufacturer is shipping it, because they make sure that they keep their levels much higher. And if they need to keep product and not ship to a Fullscript or one of the other distributors, they'll hold the product back and not ship it even when they order it. So I just wanted to speak to that too. Are fulfillment and shipping costs for private label products included in the profit share split or charged separately?
Well, let me explain this. You all have already bought the private label products. You have to pre-purchase, as you know. So it's a different split. And 2 different ways that we house, or that we working with you would house private labels. You might have some locally, and then we might warehouse some in our warehouses and send those out for you. If you have them locally, you're still going to have to do fulfillment. If you're doing that, the only charge that we charge you, because you bought the product, you're having to ship it, you're having to warehouse it, etc. The only incremental cost is 2%. And that's not just for your private labels, that's for any product that you carry in clinic. You can put products that are in your clinic onto your store. We'll work with you to put a product image and description, and then we'll send you the order so you can fulfill it locally. So if that's your private labels, the only incremental cost is going to be that 2%. Now, if we're warehousing them, it's a totally different equation. We have to go through some due diligence with you to understand your products. You know, if you have a lot of 2-pound whey products that are big and heavy, that's shipping is going to be more. If you have a lot of bottles that are pills that are under a pound, that's going to be less. We have to understand that product mix, and then we got to understand, do you want to charge shipping? Because obviously there's a shipping charge that's going to be incurred. So we have to work through some analysis with you on your on your private labels before we come up with a proposal. But yes, there's a charge for that. And it's different than the 60-40 split because we're paying for product in that instance. You've already paid for product in private label instance. So you're going to get a lot more because you've already paid for the product. But that I really can't quote you a number because there's some due diligence that has to occur, and we have to talk about shipping. You know, if you want to charge a shipping fee and we can include that in the money that we're getting in, you're going to make more. If you want it to be no free shipping because you want to be like Amazon and everything else is free, then that you're going to end up incurring that shipping charge in one way or another.
And so I'll say this right now too, having worked in private label so long, you know, charging $6.99 for your private label is not going to kill the deal. So I would rather see you guys charge a little bit for shipping than you incur that, just because unless you decide to mark your products up a tiny bit, which is what's happened here. So like Nalini just asked, is there 4 different shipping charges? Like if she puts a patient on 1 Thorne, 1 DFH, and 2 Megaspores, that's 3 different shippings. That's 3 different packages that are going to come. No, there's not 3 different shipping charges. The cost of shipping is already, so John's already gone in and negotiated with each of the suppliers to have the shipping in the price of each product. So there's actually no shipping on any branded product. When you go to private label is your brand. So at that point, you need to decide, do I want to go ahead and mark up each product $1 or $2 to help compensate for the shipping and offer free shipping? Most customers don't care. And when I was working with the big online people, what I would always suggest is figure out your average order size. So if a patient, if you put all your orders together and your average order size is, let's say, $62, I would put your free shipping at $75. Someone is more likely going to go and add 1 more product to their cart to get that free shipping. So you want to put it just above what your average order price is. And actually most of my clients move to $100, free shipping at $100. But that's a great way to start, is just figure out your average order size and then put it just larger. Or I always told them to put free shipping on their bundles. So these protocols here at the top, whatever bundles would go with that, those bundles are typically going to be, you know, $75 to $100 and something dollars depending on the client. And so I would advertise free shipping. So that's just some ways I've personally done it in the past. And then what is the minimum number for private labeling? So that minimum number is going to actually be determined by whoever you private label from. So companies range from 24 pieces to 48 per SKU. So it's actually determined by the company. And Michael, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I can talk with you about where a private label, and I actually have a course and everything. So I'm happy to talk about, happy to have a conversation offline with you guys about, or if you guys want to bring up anything about private label now, you're more than welcome to. Would you say your fulfillment costs are similar to the third-party fulfillment houses? Yeah,
let me answer. This is great. This is Eric, I appreciate you answering this. Here's the experience we had, because we used a 3PL one time, and we actually were integrated in with Zymogen for their private label program. And if you ask Zymogen for their cost sheet, they have about 12 different fees for their private label program. They have a receiving fee. So when you send them product, they got to receive it at their warehouse. There's a fee. They got to then stock it onto a shelf so that it can be ready to be picked. There's a fee. If you have a return, there's a fee for the return, and there's a fee to restock the return. Then there's an order fee. There's a per item fee. There's an account management fee. So we tried to get people to use that. And one doctor said to me one time, she said, John, this just tells me they don't want to be in this business, because they have their hand in my pocket 10 different ways, and I would never be able to reconcile, did they charge me correctly? So after that experience, we, part of our solution here is we want to make things turnkey and straightforward. So we charge you just as a percent of revenue. And your question, is it similar? Sure, it's similar. But it's going to be much more straightforward, so you know exactly how much it is, as opposed to us charging you a bunch of different fees to do. You know, warehousing is a beast in and of itself, because all those steps that I was mentioning, including pick, pack, and ship materials, shipping, etc. There is a lot of work, but we price it as a % of revenue, as opposed to nickel and diming you to death on a whole bunch of other things. And it will come out in the same realm, in the same ballpark. You're also getting technology, payment processing, customer service, returns. You know, you're getting this full turnkey solution. And so it's going to be a little bit more expensive, because in effect, you're having to pay for all that other stuff on an ongoing basis, rather than, you know, if you want to go build and have, get a 3PL, get a third-party logistics company, put your products in them, build a store, have a customer service center, get a payment processor, all that, you can do that. And we actually, when I built this, I looked at people like an Amy Myers, who had gone and done that, and some of those big folks, but they have built all that themselves. Our goal is to have this for the masses. And so it's much more cost effective for you to work with us than try to go build something on your own.
Yeah. And so having worked with practitioners, you know, like I said, I was managing 7 million in wholesale across about 20 accounts. What I love about this, and what I would say, is that this is the best way to get in and have it streamlined for you. So one, you're a practitioner, and I think it's really important to stay in the practitioner role. So when you go and try and do all of this on your own and create your own store and a 3PL and customer service, and it's a big headache. And what I see too is it drains on what makes the practitioner magic. So the more you can take some of this off your plate and be able to go focus on what really matters, which is your marketing, or a book, or doing your own webinars, or whatever, wherever it is, or you sitting knee to knee, you know, wherever that might be, and being in what you're magic at, and being where, you know, you shine, and having some of this offloaded as much as possible. There may be a point when you get to like Amy Myers, and it might make sense to go in and buy your own building and break off and create custom formulas, and that's absolutely could be part of the process. But in the meantime, the more you can get off your plate so that you can focus on what you actually need to focus on, I think is really important. And that's personally why I loved it, because I see how hard it is to go and build an online following, or even, you know, manage your brick and mortar. And so the more you can put systems in place and streamline some of this back end stuff, you know, the actually, and even the better quality of life you have. So is there skincare and body care products in this line? I can't answer that. Do you have skincare yet?
We do. We have Alitura Naturals is a skincare product, and we have Veritas Bioactives, which is a regenerative skincare product. We don't carry your big SkinCeuticals and, you know, big brands like that today. We will eventually have more of those mainstream big brands that come from folks like Allergan, but today we don't.
Well, and I am curious, and I kind of put out there, you know, what is it that other people would want? So I did already put him in touch with Steven Ezell. Of course, you know, most of the people on here are probably from Mindshare and love Steven. So I am curious, you know, and everyone, you know, add in the chat, or, you know, just click reply to the email that I sent out. But if there's other people you would want me to put him in touch with, I'm happy to do that. And so Nalini, you asked which supplement company. So I put it in the chat, and then I'll put it right here, but I can send you guys, actually, John, maybe I'll have John just send an email with all of the companies and suppliers that he already has, so that you guys can look.
Yeah,
I know who Nalini's favorites are, and Thorne and DFH, and I don't know if you use Megaspore, but Megaspore is in there. Prolon's in there. Biotics is in the process. then Pure Encapsulations, Douglas, Biobotanical, New Medica, Sauna Space. I mean, there's a ton.
We have over 100 brands across the various categories, and many of your top ones, we don't have folks like Orthomolecular on there.
I wouldn't say, I mean, in my experience in being that this is mostly mindshare people, Ortho wasn't that big. DFH and Thorne, and I primarily use DFH eStore and receive a 50% commission. If I understand this platform, I would receive 60. So it's actually, so it's 30. So this is where it would be different. So DFH does have a very heavy, heavy commissioned eStore solution, which if you're only using DFH, you know, I gotta be honest, that would probably make sense. If you ever wanted to add private label or use any other companies or do any saunas or skincare, that's when you can't do it. So they do that on purpose so that of course you just want to use them. So that's where this really varies, is if you want to add private label, which I highly advise if you're ever going to go online, just even to have a couple products. And if anyone wants me to do a webinar on the strategy aspect of how I personally would do it if it was going online, I'm happy to do that. Please let me know.
Nicole, one thing too, on that question, we have cut a deal. Let's use DFH as an example. So we in effect are using our pricing with them. We get 55% margins, and then they get 60% of that. Or with Thorne, we get 57.5% margins, and they get 60% of that. They're getting our purchasing power, but then they're having to pay for, you know, through the split, they pay for using our technology, being able to put other products, et cetera. So it's a little bit different than what she was asking.
Yep.
And yes, it's just U.S. today. We don't have the ability to send. We send in the lower 48 as well as Puerto Rico and the U.S. territories.
And I know Brandy's asking that because she does happen to be in Canada. But for anyone who's on here and is asking that from an online marketing perspective, dollar for dollar, you make more money focusing on just the United States than you do trying to go into any other country. So I know, and people would always come to me and say, well, you know, I have customers in Canada, or I have someone in England. You may have a couple, and it's few and far between. And what I've seen every time, and I'm sure JJ wouldn't even mind me sharing this, is back in the day when we were doing JJ's private label, we did all this work to go into Canada, and it was a pain in the butt. And she had to redo all her marketing, and I believe she was in the process of pulling out. So if you are more focused just on the online space, there's nothing wrong with just focusing with the United States. And don't worry when you hear, and I know it's going to feel like the whole world is in another country. They're not. And dollar for dollar, any money you spend on marketing just to target those in the United States, your return is significantly more than worrying about other countries. So, and then what's the name of this platform? It is Get Healthy. So I will send you guys a link, and I'll send you guys all John's information, the Get Healthy stores. And then he can take it from there. He'll do demos, and his team will do phone calls and whatever with you guys to move it forward. Let's see, do we have a hand up over here? It says, Michael, do you still want to talk? Michael, you can talk now if you like. No? All right. Any other questions? Oh, Biobotanical isn't on there yet, right? Is that correct? I didn't.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Biobotanical.
Biocide and nuts. Sorry about that, Nora. Anyone else? All right. Well, we'll go ahead and conclude this. Thank you so much, John. I'm excited. I hope you guys all really enjoyed this and that it helps make your lives easier so that you can go be in what makes you magic. And I'll send everybody his information and a link. You guys can have this if you guys want a copy or want the replay of this too. I can send it to you. Yes, actually, timer. That's hilarious. Yes, it is recorded. Happy to send it to you, and I'll give you guys all a link as well, so you guys can check it out. And if any other questions pop up, you guys are welcome to reach out to me too. So, thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Nicole. Thanks for everybody's time. Stay healthy.
Yeah.